Hey, episode 5. 2 guests.
We're here, we're live.
We're live.
We're not live.
But chilling and killing.
Four of us. This is
man.
the homies of homies. Guess what? Castrone.
Castrone's here.
Shout out Castrone.
Finally.
Bring the.
Brought some gifts along with me. Yours is in the post. Come to your house. His little hat for you.
Ooh, hat.
Just drop one down there. That's for you.
Yes.
Yeah. Couple little gifts in the pod. And that's just like setting it up for next thing. You'll come on the pod. You need to bring your gift.
Oh, you're setting it up.
Do you know?
Yes.
Next guest.
Come with the gifts for the boys because they deserve it.
Where's my gift?
Yeah, we're trying. We're trying.
After all these years.
And then we've got Jake, one of the BOYZ from Good Karma.
Makes the best.
Recently moved to Good Karma.
Yeah.
Smashing out some.
Killing it
On the latte art.
Killing his job life.
Go check out his Instagram to see his.
Yeah, what's
you at now on Instagram?
Yeah, what?
It changed. She went from the bald barista to obviously the hairy barista because now you've got some hair up on your head.
This is a bit of a sore topic.
It is a sore topic.
It fell out of with us because we're giving some shit for it.
With what for? And so you should.
For your new Insta handle.
Why we change
It's self-explanatory.
Why the original OG
Because I'm not bald
barista?
anymore.
Well, you are.
Why am I not bald?
You've still got.
Hair transplant, which I'll bring up in a bit.
Something
actually.
I need, clearly.
I'll bring that up in a bit actually. But it's at Jake _ Good Karma? Yeah, man. So check out the champ artwork.
Yeah.
Latte art. Flat white artwork is shit.
Art is shit. Latte and cappuccinos.
Yeah,
Very
smash
good.
them out.
Smash
Very
it.
good.
Thanks for the gift.
No,
And
man,
we're rocking the Castrone Always Grinding hat.
Yeah.
This is what I drink at home. This is for my mocha
I've seen that,
pot.
so you're taking a photo, so
Yeah.
thank you for that.
It's alright.
Appreciate it.
It's alright. It's all about spreading and sharing the love in it.
Yeah, getting the local peeps on, talking about the business and everything else.
Probably one of the best coffees I've tasted.
I know, to be fair, you do champion my products, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, I've tasted a lot of coffee.
Yeah, you have.
Poured into a lot of coffee.
Yeah.
Well, you like, we get around and we go drink at coffee shops and we're always tasting coffee, but you're always championing me, so I
Always.
appreciate that massively, bro.
Credit where credit is due.
And these boys as well always
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
give me the big ups, which is nice,
Definitely.
man.
Always.
It goes to show that you're doing something right. Do you know what I mean? When you're on your business venture, or you'll know what it's like being here in the coffee shop. Like, if people are coming in and saying, that's great, you're doing that really well. You know that you're doing something great, then, don't you? It's like that's what you want to hear. Positive feedback.
Nice dog shit, mate.
Right, I'm off.
Yeah, that's it. Game over.
If you
Take
do
it
have
off. Give me them hats.
positive feedback, just keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
That's
That's
what
always.
No, but like.
I would genuinely tell you straight up.
Yeah.
Like, I would tell you.
But it's got to be constructive if not, because people, if you went home and said, oh, Castrone is rubbish, I'd never drink that, and then explain to me why, I need to know why.
Mm.
Like, you don't go home and then tell X, Y, Z about how bad the coffee is. Like, tell me, and I can adjust, I can repivot, and I can come back and I'd be like, boom, taste that now.
An extra bean.
So,
Yeah.
for the coffee heads out there, what goes into it?
So the house blend, which is my main vocal point of the business, is a blend of 3 coffees. It's a Colombian, a Brazilian, and a Vietnamese. It's a blend of 3. Very chocolatey, very nutty, lots of body in there. Works well as like an espresso on its own.
Yeah, so the 2 types, so the Robusta.
So Robusta, so I've got a 10% Robusta in there, which is the Vietnamese, that gives it that body, that kick that you want.
Yeah.
Again, like Italian coffee that you see on the market now and again, like a Lavazza, for example, that will have maybe 40% Robusta,
Right.
which is really strong.
Is that where you get
It's
like
the
the
stronger
bitter?
cheap, that's where the bitter
cheap
comes
beef.
from.
Because there's more caffeine
Yeah.
in the Robusta. Because caffeine's what is it? An insecticide, isn't it? It's a natural one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So on the mountain
yeah.
where it's grown, for example, your Arabica is grown a lot higher,
Yeah.
and the Robusta is a lot lower. So obviously the pesticide we can get from Robusta.
Coffee lessons.
Yeah, coffee lessons. We have it.
That's
And obviously the sunlight, the rain, all the natural good stuff for the Arabica, which is the top of the mountain, is where, that's why your Arabica is harder to harvest because it's further up. But it's better quality, better grade. So a blend of two is always great. Sometimes, 100% Arabica can be a little bit too much.
Yeah.
You need something to balance it out. Again, some people love it, some people hate it. That's what it's
But do a lot of people, do they just like stick a load of the Robusta in because it's cheaper? Just pack it out?
A lot of companies will sell a 50% blend and tell you, it's actually 100% Arabica.
Right.
When actually you're drinking a full 50-50 Robusta Arabica blend, which is...
So what are the Brazilian and the Colombian in this then? Is that the Arabica? I've just missed out on
So they're the Arabicas.
Oh, look, I've just fucking said this, man.
No, so it's like 54, 8 and then 10.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so the Vietnamese with a 10% Robusta.
You pretty much nailed the back bit on the back.
Yeah, I've revised that.
You just missed off that it's a smooth velvet finish.
I would let you say that, so you tell people.
Well, it's a smooth velvet finish on the palate.
It's like this smooth velvet finish. I just shaved this one.
Now, this is, to me, the number one.
No, thank you. No, I appreciate that massively.
My wife tried a coffee on the weekend, because that's what we drink at home, but when we're out and about, we pick up coffees, and she's like, this is just not me, I just need Castroni is the one, like that's
with coffee,
I know one.
Do you instead of bringing a really...
I'm trying to talk!
Sorry. So I'm obsessed with crema on an espresso.
Which is like foamy little bit you get on top.
Right, we're going to ask that, so...
The orangey foam
on
top, basically. And how do you get that in yours? Is it from the...
So a Robusta can give you that, and even like the freshness of the coffee.
It's the fresh,
also helps give that. If I brought you some beans from last year or the year before, it might not give you the same amount of crema that a nice fresh packet would be that's been roasted maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Right.
So with all my my products that I move, I always ensure that we're having a good stock rotation. So whoever's ordered some stock, for example, they're not getting 6-month-old coffee, they're getting something that's been roasted maybe 2 weeks ago, it's had a little bit of resting time, and then it's onto the shelves and people
if you more resting time, does that increase the flavour?
So the resting time is for the gas
in
the coffee, so you don't want a lot of that in it because it's going to be really lively when you pour it. You'd have like half a cup of crema with a lot of lively gas in there. So you do need to let it settle, let it rest, so when Craig comes to make it or you come to make it, it's kind of settled a little bit and it looks nice in the cup. Coffee lessons, yo!
Coffee lessons.
Yeah.
Coffee shop opinions.
Yeah.
Wow.
Coffee rules everything around me.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Castroni coffee.
I was just quoting this this coffee shop that I've been following in Australia.
I've heard about them. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Do you know what Real Cream is in Australia?
Yeah, listen.
I've heard of the premium.
I've heard
me,
the vibes.
By the way, shout out Can of Water.
Yeah, shout out. I don't want to talk about the coffee shop guys, right? That's whatever, innit?
We're not voicing that today.
So you said about 5 minutes ago that you're going to voice it.
I didn't. I was not. I won't raging. The lion, all of them are lying, right?
Prove it.
I can't do it, obviously. They came to me, I told them about what happened today, and basically, it's happened. Right, anyways, I'm moving on.
Yeah, man. So, just before we move on, I wanted to talk a bit about careers.
Yeah,
is that alright?
Yeah,
I wanted to jump into your careers because I am the odd one out on this sofa.
You're one of us, but
I'm one of you, but I nearly said sofa. I'm not on sofa, but you guys are in the coffee. In the coffee business, I'm not. I help out at Cream every now and again.
I see you should as well. You're doing much.
I
come in and you've got a smile on your face, and if I come into any establishment and you can see somebody just genuinely buzzed to be about and just be just be in the atmosphere doing. You might not be making coffees or whatever, but you're just around and you're helping, and as much as you might want to love to make coffees at some point and get to there, someone's got to start somewhere and just enjoy being in the environment.
I love it. I get the same vibe as like on a American film, like the old-fashioned sort of hairdresser barbers. Where people just hang out with the barbers. That's what it feels like in a coffee shop right now. Is just people come out and hang out.
It's like you guys coming here. You know what I mean?
And you know 10 people, because it's the regulars or people coming through. So, but career-wise, Jake, I've known you for many years, but really become like really close friends over the past 3 years, I'd say. And since we've been that close, you've always worked in coffee shops. You've worked in a couple of coffee shops, but how did you even get into it? Because I know a bit of your family history, as in Big Robbo. Shout out to Robin. Construction area and stuff like that. Your brothers are working in in sales, sort of in the office side of things, and you're slaying the lattes. How did you get into it?
I was working in telesales.
Yeah.
Telesales. A place called Team Search. One of my best mates, Pete Green, was working with Craig down at the engine room.
All right, yeah, down at Dean Clough, yeah.
And I absolutely hated my job. I totally had enough. Just got back from Australia, telesales. I was like, oh my god! And he was like, just come down here and help out. So I started doing what you're doing here, just washing up, just washing out every day, just washing up.
Yeah.
And I met Craig. I've known Craig for years now.
Yeah.
And started there, yeah.
So just a complete career change.
Yeah. I didn't want what to do with coffee when I started there. I thought, this is just ridiculous. You know what I mean? This is just, And then I started just watching everyone, watching him, and I just fell in love with it, And ever since.
And back then, would you have had the blonde quiff, tattoos?
Mate, no tattoos. I think I had one sleeve.
Yeah. Still wearing.
I had like my quiff.
Tat and shirt.
No, I haven't got that far.
No,
definitely not. I don't think I've ever worn a tartan shirt.
Don't you wear a tartan shirt on that music video?
Which one, mate?
Going with checkered shirt.
I've worn tartan shirt.
I wear checkered shirt all the time.
Yeah, checkered shirt. When I had I was rocking a tartan shirt, quiffing the beard.
Really? I've not seen on your Instagram those photos. I scroll back to
you'll see that. I've got stubble and quiff in the lot, mate.
But this guy, he started there, and he went like, don't want to do anything. I just want to wash up, go home, that's it.
Yeah.
And then he fell in love. Coffee.
So
I just couldn't
from telesales to coffee, but going a bit further back, you had a bit of a different career with music.
I was in a band for years,
Yeah.
2 bands, and we had videos on TV.
Quite a successful band, I heard.
One of them, yeah.
Do you want to play it up then, not just talk it down?
Yeah, we were on
there happens to be a guitar just behind you. Do you want to play some tune?
I've got a beer, mate. We were on tour with Bring the Horizon and Chicago.
Wow.
All that place. It was good fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I needed to get a proper job.
Right, okay.
And then I started washing up in a cafe. My dad was like, yes, kid.
Super proud, man.
Yes.
I got a jobby, daddy.
Smashing it. So that is a film.
What film's this?
Dad, would you like some sausage?
Oh yeah.
Good film. Yeah, and then I was I'd literally just watch coffee videos for hours and hours.
Really?
Yeah.
On YouTube, just watch it.
And then
just videos. I've got a blockbuster.
Yeah.
Go cinema watch coffee videos as well. Blockbuster around.
I'm older.
Yeah, you just said videos, innit? Like videos could be like a VCR, just like coffee video.
His mum comes down. Are you watching porn? I'm just watching this latte. Just watching this coffee video.
He's killing it.
I bought it from Blockbusters yesterday.
I imagine it'd have like really sensual music on in background. Someone doing his latte as well.
Got to make it sense.
Yeah, man. Just obsessed with it.
So went from band, telesales into coffee, washing up coffee, and then
lots of coffee.
Being one of the, I'd say this. I mean, I don't know. Other people might back me up on this, but one of the most notable baristas around. People know you
100%
for what you do as being a pro at your craft, mate. You wouldn't say that, but from the outside, People would definitely say that. I think.
Thank you.
I think other people would back me up on that.
But that's
statement.
just from a lot of practice.
A lot of videos from Blockbuster.
A lot of VTR.
Yeah. A lot of rentals. The thing is, like, you're passionate about it. You can see the difference of someone that's, not just turning up to do like a picture of a coffee. Like, for example, you genuinely do love the craft and what goes into it and everything else. So, you know what I mean? You can see it a mile off, and that's why you work in prestigious places like Cream, like Good Karma, and they take you with arms open because you can just see it. You can see what you bring to the table. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely. It's the little things like what you say. You really take some pride in what you do.
Yeah.
I've seen you pull a coffee through the machine and it's not come through right, and so you've thrown it away because you don't want to give that standard to somebody.
No.
You want to serve them the best that you can do, and you should be really proud of what you do.
Thank you.
No worries, babes.
Yeah.
Love you. So big up.
Big up to you.
Oh,
Let me just pull my finger out your ass.
Yeah.
That's it. Just have I cleared it off my nose? Because I'm about to go deep in Emiliano's.
Here we go. I'm coming up.
So career-wise, how did you? So you've gone maybe the next step, slinging coffee lattes and all that, and then wanting to produce your own coffee.
Yeah.
Is that how it went, or was it a bit different to that, or where's your career path?
So started in your Italian restaurant kind of environment. There's a restaurant called Alessandro's in Huddersfield. So I started there when I was about 18. Obviously I left school, went to Rome for a year to live with my dad over there, and then after that, learned a few things over there, developed my language a bit further.
Yeah.
And then Craig's off to get food. Good lad.
Yeah, pizzas here.
don't forget that mayonnaise.
Hello?
Your homemade one. So kind of left school, went to Rome because I was a bit of a little shit when I was younger. My mum was like, right, you're off to your dad's kind of thing.
Yeah.
So go there. Dad was like, you're not just staying here and not doing anything, so I'm putting you into kind of like a college where you learn things. And mine was a hospitality kind of college where I learned bar, restaurant, so how to make drinks, everything.
Yeah.
So obviously I was passionate about that, loved it. And then after my year in Rome, obviously I wanted to come back home because England is genuinely it's my home. I always love England. I couldn't settle in Rome. So came back here, and Rome's beautiful, don't get me wrong, but your home's your home, innit?
Yeah. Too right, yeah.
And then straight into Alessandro's. Obviously being Italian helped me get into a place that was also Italian. That was kind of like, have you got any experience? Well, not really, but
I'm Italian.
Yeah, you got the job.
Yeah.
So went there about 2 years, every weekend, whilst all my friends are going out having fun, because they work 9 to 5, Monday to Fridays. I'm working every weekend, bank holidays. I remember even having like a New Year's Eve countdown in this restaurant working, and I thought to myself, I love it and everything else, but I'm just missing out on a lot of stuff with my friends, etc. So left there and went to Costa.
Costa is in the brand.
As in Costa Coffee.
Did you?
Yeah. That was yes, pizzas are here buzzing.
Pizza.
Went to Costa. Started off my journey there really because I was making a few coffees in this Italian restaurant, but I wasn't fully doing coffees all the time. If my section had someone who would order an Americano or a cappuccino, I'd go and make them, but I wouldn't make coffee all day.
Yeah.
But I'd love doing it while I was looking good.
So
I feel like I need some sauce. What sauce would you have with your pizza, Craig?
I wouldn't have any sauce.
No, I don't have sauce for your
I
pizza.
need some sauce.
What are you telling me?
I need sauce.
There's some barbecue sauce downstairs.
Is there?
I think barbecue and a bit of crust can work, but
Barbecue sauce fridge.
Free ball in it on this
So-
podcast.
At Costa.
Costa, I'm there learning my craft there, obviously making more coffees now because it costs coffee, so went through the whole, obviously you were there. Yeah, so they kind of put you through their own barista training program where you're signing things off and you've made the right texture in milk and blah blah blah.
You get a full textbook.
Yeah.
Imagine you go to school and you've got a textbook for maths You get that at Costa.
Yeah.
You have to. Somebody has to sign it off.
Sign you off for sign you off for coming into work, and sign you off for cleaning your ass. So did all that, and I was there for thinking over 2 or 3 years, and then I was approached by somebody who was often coming to have a coffee, and they loved, just how I got along with them and how I kind of made the coffees and just kept the run of everything going. And they said, I got that.
Yeah.
That was Jake's main ears, nothing else.
That was straight up in my ears.
And then a guy approached me and said, look, I'm opening a coffee shop and I would love you to run it.
Yeah.
So can you come and help me?
That's class.
And I was like, wow. Because I was only like a team leader as such, called a head barista at Costa. They have their kind of ways, manager, assistant manager, head barista, blah, blah, blah. But this guy wanted me to run his shop for him. And it was in Huddersfield Town Centre. Not going to name names because it ended kind of badly. Yeah. So this guy was like, yeah, come open the shop, rah, rah, rah. Open the shop for him, got everything going, people were coming in, having lots of drinks, the shop was buzzing, and I kind of thought to myself, right, I've accomplished this, I've done it. And then 6 months into that, I come in one day and, the shop's buzzing, it's a Saturday, and the owner was sat down at the table and he's like, can I have a word, Emiliano? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Obviously, I'm going to jump on and help because it's really busy. Sits me down and he's like, so we've had a little, look in the company and stuff, and we can't afford you. So you've got 2 options. Either let you go, or you go on £6 an hour from your, I don't know, whatever I want at the time, manager's wage at a coffee shop, maybe £9, £10, I don't know.
Yeah.
So, big drop in my wage. It's like, I just can't afford you. I'm looking at the shop's full of all these people. I'm like, sound, says, I'll leave. You know what I mean? I'd rather leave.
Straight up.
Yeah, because I feel like if you took the offer of the lower offer, I feel like he's just making a mug.
Yeah.
Just bowing down.
Yeah, so I walked out of at that moment right then when that happened, and then when I set the shop up where I was working, obviously I was dealing with a coffee roaster who was supplying the equipment, the coffee, the whole 9 yards, and the guy who I'd met who was doing that, all the machines, everything else to set up your coffee shop. When I went to the place to view the machine that was buying for our coffee shop, the guy loved me and he said, if you're ever short of work and you ever need anything, I have a place for you. Like, just let me know. Mm. And the moment I stepped foot out of this place, who was kind of mugging me off, I rang this guy and I says, I've just been sacked pretty much. Can you help me? Have you got a job? He's like, I'll meet you tomorrow at Murfield train station. I'll pick you up and you start tomorrow. And that's where my journey begun for a coffee roaster. Quite a popular one, to be fair. There's a north branch and a south branch. And I worked with them for the past 8 years, where I fully developed my running a business, coffee training, import, output, stock, the whole 9 yards of how to run a coffee company and a coffee roaster. I learned all this over the past 8 years. And then that's, at the end of that is when Castroni Coffee become. So that's been my cycle.
What did you do? Did you just like, right, this is it, I'm doing it?
Well, let's get into kind of what happened to me. It was February 2020.
Yeah.
So just before COVID starts, kicking off, taking over, and being like the thing. There was various conversations going on with my director at the time, and he was saying, I don't know what's going to happen. It's a bit uncertain times and stuff. So,
There you go.
So I'm like, cool. I've worked with these people for 8 years of my lifetime. Bearing in mind, I started when I was 20 years old, so I've become a man as I've worked for this company.
You pretty much give me a life.
I've given my life, you know what it's like when you go to work, you spend more time with them than you do your own family.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's a lot of that. And then we went into COVID times, and obviously it was like one day I come in and it was like, right, you're gonna have to go home. And I was like, what? Yeah, it was coming on to the news and stuff. And I didn't know anything about furlough at this point. There was no talks of furlough, no nothing. We didn't know anything. It was so uncertain time that it was scary. And I went home, and I had no communication. There was no, it wasn't like saying to me, I'll look after you, you're going to be all right, or there was no, just making me feel safe and secure. Although I'd kind of devoted my life to this company, I made them a lot of money, profits, etc. And then it was just like, I got treated like an absolute tool for months, to the point where I had to go on sick with anxiety, depression. I really felt low, down and out. Sorry to bring the podcast down a little bit, we're getting deep and serious.
It's all right.
Yeah, so, really, really hurt my feelings, really, really affected my mental health. My partner Shelley will vouch for that, because I was just a nightmare at home. I just locked myself away. I think men tend to just lock themselves away from the whole troubles and just deal with it on their own. We all have different ways of dealing with stuff. So all that happened, and then kind of COVID was not settling down as such, but it was like coming back into work time. July, August, I've been on furlough for a few months. It's been great. Been at home with my partner, going out on walks and stuff. Obviously worrying about this work thing, and then it was like, right, finally got contacted by my director, and he was like, I'm going to call you back in for a meeting. We're going to get back to work, we're going to get going. I'm like, brilliant, can't wait to get back going to work. I love what I do.
Yeah.
I'm dying to get sink my teeth back into it, see all my customers, just get back doing what I love the most. So I goes in for a meeting, and my director says to me, we're just going to have a sit down and talk about the new ways that we're going to do things. I'm like, cool. I said, kick it off, start with the bad stuff, let's get it going. And he goes, right, so your wage from 40k a year is going down to 20k a year. Whoa. So boom, straight slashed in half. You're going to have no company car, you're not going to do the same job as before, and then you're going to work in a warehouse, which I've never done before. I would work anywhere and do anything because I'm not bothered, but obviously I've never done that before. So there was all these things laid out on the table, and I said, right, is that it then? He said, yeah. And I just said, it's not for me. So obviously this was all, and after that it all stemmed with the anxiety, the depression, because I didn't want to go back there. It really, really messed with my head. Yeah. And then obviously went home and, just thought to myself, what am I going to do? But deep down I had this feeling in my mind that coffee is what I love. I love being around people, and I've run a coffee roaster for the past 8 years. I must stick at this. I've got, lots of contacts. So many sleepless nights on my laptop. My partner would come downstairs early in the morning and my head would be like asleep in the laptop, planning, over-analysing, thinking, oh my God, is it going to work? Am I going to be able to do it? And then August 16th was my 28th birthday in 2020, and August 17th, Gastronomy Coffee began that day, straight after my birthday.
Wow.
Yeah.
So my
what stopped you wanting to open your own coffee shop?
I was just going to ask that as well, Jake.
Your own,
I was going to say, I know you've had that 8 years of being in that industry.
Yeah.
But what was the difference between you thinking, I want to open up my own place where I can create my own environment, my vibe, to I want to create a product that I want to be the best on the market? What was the difference?
The problem was, because I'd come from the supplier background, I'd been supplying already. Right. I knew what I had to do. I was familiar with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My muscle memory was okay with that. I could do that again, and I'm cool with it. I'm happy, deliveries and everything else, and seeing everybody. But running a coffee shop at the time when things were uncertain, especially having funds like that, we know how expensive coffee shops can be to set up and get going, and especially in the times where we didn't know if the next day we were going to get locked down again, or we wasn't sure. And for me to just go back into the supplying and the roasting and everything else, and just get people some really good coffee and just carry on, for me seemed like, obviously not an easy option because it's scary to go on your own and go have a go, you know what I mean, and just try it out.
Yeah.
But it was what you were familiar
It was I was familiar with it. So, yeah, handed my notice in at work, and my notice period ended on my birthday. It was like written in the stars almost. And then, boom, Castroni Coffee began. And, it'll be 2 years in August this
What did you do? Where did you get roasted from?
So, managed to find a company then who, because obviously a roaster can cost between £10,000 and £15,000. So, I work closely with a roastery who, I go and pick the blends and everything else, and they'll package it for me. They'll add my logos to it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And then obviously,
I thought you had your own little roast.
Yeah. So, but as things have gone on, like I've kind of upgraded and
That's cool.
then led to do it myself, because you all have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
If someone wants to set up a coffee business, you don't have to buy a 20 grand roaster
No.
and a 10 grand packing machine. You can speak to a company locally who
And then figure that blend out. And,
do everything on your own still, and still have your own brand, your own whatever, and just push that out. Having 20-30k is asking a lot. It's going to scare people away. But there's ways that you can adapt, and there's ways that you can have a go, regardless of
You're finding them means, isn't it, man?
It's just, if you want it enough, you'll go get it, So it doesn't matter if I'm roasting my coffee or a company who's been doing it 30 years is roasting it. It's the same, you know what I mean? I would be basically, if I had my own roaster, obviously different now, but I'd be picking them 3 coffees
and
I'd be doing the exact same thing. So, and then here we are, nearly 2 years down the line, around 50 clients from Manchester to Doncaster, merch, great coffee, chocolate chai, the whole 9 yards, and we're here, we're live, we're kicking.
Yeah, man.
Well, lad.
Who were your first client?
My first client was...
Who got the ball rolling for that first initial sale? Because within my job, there's 2 roles within my work, my personal work, and I remember that first time we sold a course for training.
Yeah.
And that feeling like, holy shit,
we're doing it.
We're doing it now. I've got the panic of I've got to fucking deliver it now.
Yeah.
But who's that first initial client?
Obviously, because I've done the same job for 8 years, and people knew me in the industry, as they'd had my level of service, and Craig will vouch for every delivery is mine. It's hand delivered. I come in, I ask you how you're doing. Is the coffee grinder okay? I will make sure that the service is at a top-notch level.
That's why I met you.
Yeah,
Coming and
just me coming and chatting when I drop the order off. It's not just about me coming in, take an order, I'm off.
Yeah.
I'm sticking around, I'm having a conversation. That's how I've met you.
Yeah.
You know? That's how I've met you, and it's like this is where I've had, or I've gotten my contacts and they've stuck with me because of my level of service. So the first person I went to see was a friend called Sal, who's also a client that I've worked with closely, and he's got a place called Resident 74 up in Cookridge in Leeds. So obviously I didn't have a vehicle or anything, so I'd ring my granddad and say, who's the slowest driver? It took us 4 working days to get to Leeds, my little life. We drove up there and I just popped in and I was like, look, I'm setting up on my own, are you going to support me? He's like, absolutely, no questions asked.
Yeah.
He says, why are you even coming to tell me? I'll put an order in now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And obviously that kind of level of support back to me, it was the same with everybody who I went to see. I'm setting up on my own, I'm doing this. Are you on board with me? Yeah, absolutely, of course we are.
How did you meet this guy?
So this is another cool little story. So
Do you want me to tell it?
You tell it, actually, you tell it. I've been talking loads of it.
Yeah, have some
You eat
pizza. Because I was
Do you
going
want some of this pizza? It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Shout out next level, Halifax.
Yeah, big up
It's
that.
incredible.
So I went into a coffee shop in Wakefield, and I didn't realise that it was his coffee at the time.
Big up throwback.
Yeah, I had a flat white, and I was like, this coffee is good. We all have the same coffee, and you taste the flat white with castroni, and it's smooth and it's nice, and I'm like, this is good stuff. And I had a coffee supply at the time, and I was like, I need change. So the week after, Castroni came to my place, and we changed coffee straight away.
Straight away.
I went,
Straight.
we're having this. and I got rid of the old stuff straight away.
Yeah, I remember serving this coffee at Throwback because they just opened a business, and I was like, look, I'll come help out on your opening day. Don't know how busy you're going to be. This is another thing, like, not many coffee suppliers will say to you, I'll come and work for free for the day on your opening day, and just be like, look, I'm down to support you because you're supporting me. So this is where I was, and it's Throwback Coffee House. It's like a vegan coffee shop in Wakey, really cool place. Lewis and Lucy smashing it out there, really. And obviously, I was supplying them at the time, and Craig popped in, drank that coffee, and he literally looked at me and he went, "What coffee is this?" I'm like, "When you say that, it's actually mine." It's actually that Castroni Coffee House blend. And then we hit it off from there, didn't we?
Are you thinking going to get more blends expanded?
Yeah, so I've had a cool idea because
We'll tell you if it's cool.
I mean,
Everyone's ideas cool to themselves.
I mean, if you say it's not now, I'm completely disappointed because it's got quite a cool meaning to it. So my nonno Giulio, which is my Italian grandfather, who raised me through a lot of my younger years of my childhood, and his thing was go to a bar, have an espresso, in the vibe, at the bar drinking a coffee. And I was with him all the time through this, and I loved it. And I always remember him drinking coffee and me loving just the vibe and the whole thing. And I think that's where a lot of this has really stemmed from. So Giulio Castroni, I've paid massive homage to him. So the next blend is going to be something. This is quite medium roast.
Yeah. Is it going to be a stronger?
I want to go for a little bit stronger. I'm not trying to go to the bitter end.
A darker.
A little bit darker, more chocolatey, nice strong walnut.
Yeah.
Give it a nice, kick. And it's going to be called the Nonno Giulio blend.
Wow.
Yeah. So that means it's a cool idea, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think it's a cool idea.
Yeah, brew it.
Thank God for that.
Brew it. Yeah.
Brew that. We're not stewing that. So yeah, I think that because obviously it's great having, a lot of companies have like 50 different coffees.
I always wanted to when I had the BOYZ barista was come with you and create my own.
Yeah.
I was that
You can.
wanted.
The Bulbarist. Well, Jake _good karma.
There's some I think
Jake _good karma blend.
there's going to be another name. That's just temporary, right?
Oh.
Another brand. Something I don't know what, but
Yeah.
I want other bits and bats like
Man overboard
bits
blend.
of merch.
Tennis
I
ball head.
want my own.
Wow. Some more fire damage. Oh my God.
Logan's like,
Alright, boom! Let's go! Right,
you just sat on the side.
My man is sending shots at you.
Give me some shit for that sometime.
Wow.
Shut up, can of water!
Shout out Corona.
Pass me that pizza!
You want this one down here?
I've dropped it all over my shots.
You want this one down here?
Yes.
I think you should go.
Destroyed me.
I think you should go for your own, mate.
I want my own.
Like you've got
my
my
pictures.
Yeah.
My own
I'll take a picture of your face then.
pictures. My own.
You're still brandable, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Shit like that.
Yeah.
Average looking. Tennis ball.
Tennis ball sweet.
Good old 5-head.
I fucking dyed hair green.
Wow.
You're going in now, aren't
Good old 5-head.
But yeah, it's definitely, if you come to me in 6 months and say,
That's what I want to do.
I want my own blend, like, it's happening. I can sort it out for you.
I'd be
Tennis ball, house blend.
Yeah. The ballers blend.
Yeah.
The ball bag.
Ball bag blend. Ball bag blend. And just go hard. Go hard blend.
I can't believe you called it tennis ball.
The shaft blend.
Crazy. Has that been locked and loaded, that tennis ball?
He joined it before. He had it
Right, okay.
No, I've not listened before, haven't I?
Yeah, probably.
Because you're hearing that, if someone calls it that, like,
That is vicious, but fair play.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's been a while since we've proper ribbed into each other.
Yeah.
So
And I think,
bring some
it's important, right, with your friends, to have a little back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't shy away from that. that's when you truly begin to understand who is, you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Tennis ball.
because if you really, if you're not about it, you'll end up moving high schools because your brother's not there anymore. You know what I mean?
Alright, mate.
Who's done that?
Me?
This big man in corner. Tell me more. This guy calling you a tennis ball, man.
He don't listen to
podcast.
Yeah.
I listen to every single. Jake, man. These are your bros.
No, my memories are useless.
Yeah.
You've definitely not listened to it.
I went to a high school and moved when my brother left because I had long hair. I had hair, long hair.
I ain't got hair.
I could grow mine.
Okay.
And
Why don't you chop it though?
why?
Yeah.
Just moving with the times, I think, and then I regret moving with the times
Yeah.
because I think it'd be cool now.
Having got hair now is sick. Like everyone's got like, if you see a guy with a man bun and a beard, you're thinking, yeah. So
I'd love a mullet, but not like a.
Not about this guy.
Wow!
Oh!
That's Emiliano.
That's new, that beard. And hair.
Wow.
And these are one of the photos.
Is that one of the photos?
These
So,
are one of the
are we
photos.
doing that segment now?
Yeah.
Or?
He's going to the second now, so let's go. So this. What's this one? I wish. Don't be sat here, you idiots. Call it out.
Look at him.
Is that back at firm days?
When did you start growing bald?
Forever blowing bubbles. I started going bald when I was 21 years old. So I was going bald here.
How old were you then?
I would probably be about 19 there, 20. So I was working, this is at Costa here, you can see the
shirt.
little beans. And in our Costa branch we had, it was obviously CCTV that would look around the bar. And I'd be like walking around the bar. And it was a kind of delayed, so if you got into the office, you'd catch yourself on a CCTV walking, obviously. And one day I'm looking at the screen, I'm thinking, I can see some flesh on the back of my head top.
What a flipping gleam.
And then I said to my manager, who was also
Crops it.
bar back of your head. Yeah. I'm like, wait.
Like an alien.
I've got basically a solar panel on the back of my head, yeah? And I'm like, have I always had that? Have I always had that on my head? And he's like, yeah, you've been going thin for a while. I'm like, why is... Because you don't know, because you don't look at the top of your head.
No.
So, I had this bald spot on the back of my head.
How do you tell somebody you're going bald though? In there.
Yeah, like
Just
I've known you for years. You've told me. But I had been told by people your hair's going thin, and I'm like, shut up.
You do not register it.
You don't.
want to.
It's hard to come to terms with.
It is very
And like, obviously, you don't have to worry about any of this conversation, and neither do you.
No.
But for me, when I was 20, 21, and I was going through that, losing the hair situation, it was tough, man. Like,
That's a young age. You know what? That's
yeah,
a
very
young
young,
age.
very young. And I'd be paranoid about going outside because I used to like, I swear to God, it was bad. So I used to wear these fibres, which are like
Yes.
all these little tiny, almost
That dust stuff.
little strands of hair. Yeah. So I used to be putting this. I've been putting this dust on my head.
Like a carpet.
I've been putting this dust and these like almost like black spray paint on my head to make it look like I had hair, right? And you know, because I wouldn't leave the house without it. It's mad.
You just do like a boot polish.
Yeah, literally like that. Yeah. So put this boot polish on my head, and I'd be like, I would not leave the house without it. And then if it rained, my hair is coming off onto my forehead in the rain.
So there must have been a point where you accepted it and fucking bit to the head.
Yeah, so I think I must have been about 25, 26, and the hair was that, it was not that much of it anymore to even hide anymore. So I'm like, I'm just going to have to brave the shave at this point.
Yeah.
The thing is,
Did it go fast?
Yeah,
Like fuck.
yeah. I'm washing my hair in the shower and clumps are coming out.
Jake's not come to terms with it yet. So I'm just wondering how we can start.
No,
so
so
how are you regrowing yours?
So yeah,
Everyone knows.
so
knows, man.
I'm not digging in out. It's serious.
This is
So you had the
have
same
a tennis ball on my head.
you had the same situation, hair thinning.
Yeah, mine started thinning gradually though.
Yeah.
Literally 18, 35.
Yeah.
Just
So just a gradual
But
thing.
I had the receders like the McDonald's then. So you know what I mean?
Fucking horseshoe
I'm
race.
learning it. Literally, just started.
Big horseshoe.
And then it started going in the middle.
Yeah.
So the first thing I did was not accept it. Powders, job lot,
Yeah.
Boot polish.
boot polish. But I never did the hats. I just tried covering up all these
Yeah.
lines.
See, I wore a lot of hats a lot of the time
Yeah.
to try and cover, because I'd have some hair. I'd have some hair at the front still, so I'd just like put my hat on and hide it, and just hide under my hat. But like, if anyone knocked it off my head, you know what I'm saying? I'm like,
Oh, get one of them hats
yeah,
with,
little hat at front.
and then hats with hair sewn in. Right?
Dangling off the sides. Like, but you know, you guys are sitting here joking about it, but you've never had to deal with losing your hair.
No, you're right. Yeah.
You know, people take their lives over this stuff because it's their appearance, and men are so proud of how they look.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
look in the mirror. If you see any faults for yourself, you know how it gets. You know.
I'm
So-
the opposite way around me. I can't grow a beard or a moustache for like.
Yeah, but you've got loads of hair, man.
Like my hair on my head is like all wild.
Yeah,
on
yeah,
my face, it's non-existent. I'm like a little flipping child.
So yeah, obviously whipped it off one day, and I thought to myself, I'm a good shape head. I've got, it's round like the earth, sexy.
The earth round.
Yeah. Depending if you're a flat earther or not. Which is on episode 1, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And then I got a little treatment called SMP, which is called scalp micropigmentation,
All right.
which basically is same kind of ink that you use for tattooing,
Yeah.
but they just do loads of little tiny dots on your head, and they make it seem like you've got hair, but you've shaved it.
You had that done as well, yeah.
Jake has also had done.
Yeah. So when we started to really become mates, that you were going through that process, and you sat down and said, "Look, I'm going to get this done." So I think,
Which is great for if you're watching this and you're going bald.
Fantastic.
Look up SMP. Have a look at my guy Paul Clark down at Bramwood in Birmingham, because he hooked me up.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have a daughter today if it weren't for my man sorting my hairline out, because my fiancée Shelley would have. She's already said, if you didn't have that hairline, I would have got you.
Yeah.
So big up, Paul. Bramwood.
Yeah.
When did you get yours done?
I got mine done in Manchester.
Your scalp, your
Is it worth a shout out? Because Emiliano's shouting out everyone. So
Shout out.
Get some-
Can of water.
Yo, shout out kind of water.
Brandwood was the top up. I had about a year ago, I think. I can't remember the company.
You got onto Bramwood because of me.
Because of you, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I went one step further.
Right.
Flew out to
And-
Turkey.
And I went
Did
to
what?
Istanbul.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What for?
And I got a hair transplant.
Hair transplant.
For
So-
just under 5 months
Yeah.
ago.
So there's a whole
That's
process
it.
with a hair transplant, though, isn't there? What were you going to say?
I'm just going to say, do we bring that photo?
Oh,
The
God.
hair-
Have you got that photo?
You swollen edge.
Oh, it's
Oh, it's just a photo segment.
It's like a belly, doesn't it?
So is
It looks like one of them big tennis balls that you get at Wimbledon. To sign it. So there's a whole process, though, isn't there? So obviously there's a scalp. They take other hairs from other areas, don't they?
Wow. Looking like you're about to play Wimbledon, man.
Yeah, I'll
We'll put that
I'll put that up as well.
Yeah.
So they extract all the hairs from the back and the sides of your head, stick them in the top.
Non-front ball bag, no?
No, not this time, mate. Maybe next time.
Call your ball bag.
Very, very personal. You know, your feelings are like that.
What do you want to know now? And then it all falls out. So after
All right, then.
2 months, we're just under it all.
It's like they call the shed, innit?
Yeah, so
the
it
shed.
all fell out, and I was like, oh my god, what have I done? Why did I do that?
Yeah.
I was back to square one. But now,
Oh yeah, 'cause you used to grow loads of hair before. Yeah, completely. Yeah.
loads. And now it's just like to go back through now.
It's looking good now though. It's starting to come
Takes
through.
about
Looking.
a year fully.
Yeah.
So it started
Is it?
to hopefully it'll thicken up.
Yeah.
Well, one thing you said to me when you come in earlier was you went to the barbers and you had like
First haircut. yeah.
first haircut, man's hair fade. Like I miss that. I'm going for a little beard shape up, but I can't have it done to my head because I'm just power again. Let's go for polish.
Yeah, so we'll see in a year.
Fucking goes to bowling alley.
And it.
Get it
So it's
polished.
just going. No, anyway.
I don't need to do this.
Yeah, it's me. I'm polish.
Are you feeling more confident in yourself now that you've had this done?
Yeah, I struggled, man, for
Yeah.
years. Like, years and years. Like, I was in my bands and everything, I was on my hair. the emo fringe, all that.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
so obsessed with what I look like.
As a man, most men, you're obviously not asked, but a lot of men care about their appearance. You know?
What? I care about my appearance.
You said you're not bothered.
Just my hair is.
You can't grow a beard.
I'm not bothered by the fact that I've just owned that though. I used to be bothered by the fact that I couldn't grow a beard.
No.
So I'm like, I want to look like a fucking Viking.
I think you look done with a beard.
But then I look, yeah. Like,
you need to continue the Jim Carrey look, bro.
Yeah,
just straight up Jim
I'm-
Carrey.
yeah.
The facial expression's better with no beard. You're looking good.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yes, Jim.
I like Jim.
I want to shave my head bald.
I've seen it. You look like you've just,
I look like a crackhead.
you look like you got about 5 days to live as well.
Yeah. Have you seen this photo?
I haven't seen it before.
I'm going to bring this
Oh,
photo.
this segment.
Yeah,
Of this orange.
Oh, why?
Going past
No
this.
facial hair. It's bad.
It is bad, right?
Yeah, do you know what you look like? That guy out of Beetlejuice with proper tiny head.
Nah, you look like a Goomba.
You know, when you sat on the sofa and Beetlejuice.
Watch this. Let me do a comparison.
Right, so yeah.
That little Beetlejuice hair.
But the thing is, I did this for charity. I shaved my head, I had loads of hair, and I shaved it big tip.
Keep up.
And raised a good amount of money.
Good. Good stuff.
That was fantastic, that.
That is fantastic.
Somebody rest his peas with going on to them minute.
But yeah, Emiliano's just getting up a little photo here. Wow. Come on, man, put that up on.
All these photos that you're getting, you're going to have to screenshot and send
we'll
them.
send them for the weekend.
Yeah.
So, do you want to carry on with the little
My photos.
the segments of me? So,
So yeah, next photo. We've talked about him and his little castroni business. That's what we're on.
Yeah.
Next is home life. Oh, not that one.
home life, man.
It's a fucking dick.
Whoa!
Just
Oh my god!
Look at the crop top.
Yeah, home life. One of my little family pic.
Yeah, man. Being a dad, 4 and a bit months now. Best thing ever that's ever happened to me, man. Like dad life, family life, just love everything.
About
The
being
good-
a dad.
The good things, the bad things, the learning things, everything. I love everything about it. I'm just fully trying to immerse as a father. I come from a really rubbish background. You know, my dad was always in Rome. He never moved to England, so I grew up with my mum, who was a young mum.
Is your dad still in Rome now?
Yeah. Waste man, jokes. Love you, dad.
You play FIFA with him?
I know, with Division 1 on co-ops, to be fair. Me and my dad smash it on FIFA. I carry him, but he's a good lad. But I'm the kind of guy that if Shelley and Esty move to Japan, I'm moving to Japan with to follow my child until she's old enough to do what she needs to do. But then, my mum was a young mum. Again, she's had a troubled upbringing, certain demons, and they affected how she raised me. So I've been raised by a lot of grandparents and stuff. And then it's kind of, when it's come to me now for my turn to be a father, someone's got to change the cycle. Someone's got to, not blame the past, not blame, oh, my dad's not around, or my mum didn't look after me well enough because she wasn't capable, or it's not about that. It's about you stepping up as an individual for your kids, for your children, for your family, be accounted for,
I think we can all.
Yeah.
all
parents, aren't we?
100.
So yeah.
I remember you mentioned your bit of your upbringing as well, and
On one of the, about my dad and and I agree with you, but there's part of me that thinks maybe you shouldn't forget about that sort of stuff though that happened to you, and use them as lessons as like
always remember it.
Well, I want to be the opposite person to that person or the opposite person to this parent.
Whereas people that kind of lean on that as a crutch for being rubbish or being, my dad was this.
Or use it as an excuse.
Yeah.
That is not acceptable.
That's not.
We are stewing that to the.
I can
the
understand
maximum.
why, like, when people have bad upbringings and they have issues in life and they kind of all over the place, losing plot, anger, blah blah blah. You don't convey that to your kids, man.
No, and if that's you, you're not ready to bring a life into the world yet.
No.
Everyone has, we all go through what we go through, man, women, children, whatever. We all have our own journey. We all have bumps in the road.
Yeah.
And for you to bring a life into this world. Especially when I was thinking about it, I was thinking, I'm going to have a human who I have to think about before myself now, forever really, because you never stop worrying about or thinking about your kid and making sure they're okay.
I'm gonna stop.
Nah. Deeper.
You don't ever, mate.
Nah.
Never.
Yeah.
And all of us here have got daughters.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we do. Yeah,
We're all dads to daughters,
that's the daughters.
which is cool.
Oh my god, let's set up a new organisation.
Yeah.
Dads to daughters.
That's the daughters.
Let's just all
podcast.
cuddle each other. Oh, podcast.
The tennis ball podcast.
I'm fucking up.
So,
Volleyball sweet.
have you got another photo, Craig? Or
Yeah.
No, I had the coffee.
Oh, just the family life on
Yeah,
family life.
Yeah.
Alright, okay. I was just going to bring up tattoos. So another thing that we've all got in common is that we're covered in a shitload of tattoos. You a lot more than me, but
Jake's got a fresh one on his knee as well.
Jake's got a freshie. So what I wanted to do is put you a bit on the spot, because I know that we all have tattoos that are meaningful to us. But
Yeah.
what is the most meaningful tattoo? You've got a fucking pizza slice, mate.
This guy's got Billy on his arm.
What is the most meaningful tattoo on your body right now, Jake?
Mine?
Yes, mate.
Wow. I've only got I'd say, out of everything,
Is it the blacked out arm?
it's got to be.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
I mean, that means a lot, doesn't it?
It does, mate. I just look at that sometimes and I'm like, wow.
Well,
Why did I start getting tattoos?
look at the definition.
That is
You know what I
good
mean?
quality.
It's good quality.
Good
blacking,
blacking
innit?
out. But is the one that really stands
Yeah,
out to you that
yeah.
you look at and you think, fucking
got-
yes, I'm glad I got that.
I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 tattoos that mean something. All the rest.
Tell us.
The one,
You don't have to fucking
You
get
don't have to get your flesh out. You don't have to tell us.
So this is for my sister. My sister passed away a few years ago, and it says all worries. No, by the sea, all worries wash away. And she just loved going to Bridlington to my dad's by the sea.
Yeah.
Nice, man.
That's
So that's
amazing.
for,
Isn't it?
Yeah, that's my most meaningful one. It covers my full chest.
Nice.
But all the rest, mainly I've got my daughter's name, obviously. I've got my sister's name. All the rest are just bits and bats, really.
Yeah.
Full of gaps.
So is that bit of barbed wire on your neck not the most?
Where?
It's on your neck.
Where's the bar? Can you see barbed wire?
Have you had it covered up?
My neck.
Have you had it covered up?
It's there.
Thorns.
Thorns.
Have you had it covered up?
No, it's there.
It's there.
No, the barbed wire. Didn't you have some barbed wire
No,
recently?
I've got barbed wire on my stomach.
Ah, that's what I'm thinking.
Which one? Which
Alright,
barbed wire?
Siri, calm down.
Craig, most meaningful tattoo, mate?
I'm going to go with my moomin.
Yeah.
People might think it's dumb, but my little brother, one of my best mates, used to call me moomin as a child.
Yeah.
And I got that for
That's
it.
cool.
Everything else is just random crap. So
This
Yeah.
isn't, no.
Michael MJ, yeah boy, Michael Jackson.
Big up, MJ.
Bad.
Yeah.
Emiliano.
Mine's got to be.
You've got a few.
I got all mine are meaningful, but by the way, your tats don't have to be meaningful. They can just be cool.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm all for that.
Yeah.
But I am covered in family. Where I'm from, city of Rome, parent portraits, the full. A lot of mine are meaningful, but definitely my most meaningful is my nonno portrait. Obviously helped me a lot through life.
I'm serious.
Yeah, mafia vibes. Do you know what I mean? You ain't trying to mess with my nonno.
No,
You get it? So, we out here with nonno Giulio, and then I've got my daughter's name, Esty, on the fingers.
Relatively new one.
Yeah, that's fresh. So I think that them two are definitely for me the most meaningful. What about you?
So probably two, but the most meaningful one, I don't have my daughter's name tattooed on me. That's
Step
going to be
up
something that's going to come down the line.
Yeah.
Thinking where to put it. Is it going to be initials? And she's got 4 names in her. Well, all the D. Peggy Smith. So maybe
I think
maybe that's the ODPS on my on my fingers. Maybe.
That'd be cool.
But me and my wife have got the same tattoo. I know some people are opinionated.
I love the matching tattoo.
on matching tattoos with
I love
partners
it.
and stuff, but
You know the ones that they have where each one joins together to make something. Love them.
yeah, that's
They're
pretty
cool.
cool. Yeah.
They're
So we've both got some writing in Icelandic, and it's just really our romance, our relationship was very quick, very fast, but it's become one of these things that it's just, it's worked. It's amazing. We love each other till the end, I think, and I hope she loves me like that. But it says there is no fate in what we make for ourselves.
Wow.
And that's what we've made. It's also a line off Terminator 2. Big up Terminator 2.
Shout out.
Yeah, big up
What film, yeah. Yeah, there is no fate but what we make for ourselves, and
That's a good film.
really good. Yeah, really good film.
We made our own fate.
But this is another thing, like, a lot of people say when they get into a relationship, I think, because I moved quite quick with my fiance, after 2 days from my fiance, jokes. Nah. We got together in like lockdown times, so you can imagine, moving in together quite soon and, fully being immersed as partners and you're together 24/7, but that to me, you just like cutting to the chase to see how you're going to be together. Because bottom line, what's the point in being together 5 years, taking it steady, going for a date once a week, and then you get to 5 years and then you move in and it don't work. You may as well test it out sooner.
Yeah, sure.
Get some kids fired in.
Yeah.
Get a dog in there.
Oh my god! No. But yeah,
His face there.
but you know what I mean? It's like, why beating on the bush? Like, just give it a go. Try it. If it don't work, and you've got to move out and get a balance somewhere. What's he saying now? Switched off.
Shades on.
Shades on, not sleep. Yeah.
It's past your bedtime.
So tattoos covered. Is it right? We're coming up to just past the hour mark now, and I think we've found our prime of listening time is below that. We did one at an hour 45, I think, and it was too long.
Yeah.
An hour seems too quick, but like in the middle, the hour 15.
You've got a quick fire, haven't you?
I've got some quick
fire questions.
Right.
Yeah.
Keep
All
it
right,
cool.
cool.
I'm going to go with you first. Right, quick fire 5. You straight up quick fire. Don't give me no long answer. Right. Favourite band.
Blink-182.
Favourite ice cream flavour.
Peanut butter.
What?
Yeah.
All right, good.
What time do you go to bed?
About 9 o'clock.
Best ball game.
Not Mousetrap, Screwball Scramble.
Okay.
Is that a board game?
That is really showing your age.
I would do.
Yeah.
If it's
Why
a
don't you
board,
say checkers or something?
Rats. Yes. Same as checkers.
Is that check?
What's your go-to coffee?
As in,
But what would you order? You would go in a coffee shop.
oat milk flat white.
Oh, no, flat.
With what coffee though? Whose coffee? Yeah. Shout out kind of water, I mean, Castro.
Alright, here we go. Quick fire. Italy or England?
England.
Oh!
Wow.
Alright. Brew it or stew it, Kanye?
Brew it.
Yes! Fuck you.
You watch the documentary?
No, not yet.
Watch it.
Oh.
You'll change your opinion on
Yeah.
it. You'll change your opinion on it. 100%.
Favourite pizza topping?
Banana.
Top 3 coffee spots in the world?
Cream in Australia.
Cream.
Yeah.
Good karma. Big up good karma.
Shout out Canmore.
Shout out and Resident 74.
Yeah. Alright. And your go-to coffee? As in, what you order when you go somewhere?
A double espresso for me.
There we go.
100%.
There we go.
Shout out kind of water.
Yeah, man. Who sells peanut? Who fucking
Who
sells
sells peanut butter ice cream? Ben and Jerry's. Peanut
Brew it or stew it? Peanut butter ice cream.
Brew it or stew it?
I'm stewing.
I'm stewing. I love that one.
What's your favourite flavour?
Of what? Ice cream?
Yeah. And why is it mint chocolate chip?
It's not mint
it's
chocolate.
It's vanilla.
It's not mint
Vanilla.
chocolate.
It's that Neapolitan stuff from Sainsbury's.
Ben and
Oh,
Jerry's,
chocolate.
the salted caramel core.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right.
So what's wrong with peanut butter?
I'm gonna go.
Nothing.
Pistachio ice cream,
Oh,
gelato.
My
Yeah,
God.
yeah, yeah.
Pistachio
Yeah,
is
fresh,
bad boy.
I've changed my mind. I've changed my mind.
Again.
Rum and raisin.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is what I'm going. That's what I'm picking every time.
You're not thinking supermarket. You're not thinking supermarket.
I'm talking.
Get out there.
Get to the world.
Yeah. Go roam.
Where's there an ice cream shop in Halifax?
There's a dessert shop in there. There's a dessert shop somewhere around here.
Peace Darlington.
I don't know. I've never been in Peace Hall before.
Oh, there is actually. There's an ice cream parlour in Peacehall, actually.
Right, so there's one that you found within 5 seconds. Go
Shout
check it
out
out.
Peacehall.
Shout out Rum Raisin.
Shout out Can of Water.
Shout out Can of Water.
Shout out Peace Hall.
Right, anything, before we close up here, anything in the news that has sparked your interest? That you
I
want
would
talk
like to
about?
mention,
Yeah.
right, how you see how COVID was such a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now this war stuff's going on, right?
Yeah.
The COVID thing has kind of
Disappeared.
put on the back burner, disappeared.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
We've been locked up for 2 years of our lives, and
Yeah.
like now all of a sudden, go outside, enjoy yourselves, have a little sneeze on people, cough as well. But there's a war going on, so you know what I mean. Don't worry about it. Don't you think that's mad?
It is mad, and I think there's probably a conspiracy behind that of,
Yeah.
like, in my mind, it's like, well, was this created so that we were inside for 2 years so we can get fat or become the weakest version of ourselves?
Yeah, yeah.
And then boom, war.
Oh man,
You need to stop
What
smoking.
a conspiracy theory that is.
I know.
Are you a conspiracy theorist guy?
No, I'm a conspiracy theorist listener. I
Okay.
enjoy listening to them, different ones, and do
I've
not
watched a few.
pick one out. And you're big into it, aren't you?
Yeah, I was big into it.
What's your favourite conspiracy?
Oh man, you're gonna hear it. The Boston bombing. It was
Ooh.
a fake false flag, but I'll let you look into that.
No, tell us a bit more about it if you
It
can.
was staged to
You've got 30
create.
seconds, go.
It was so this, basically the US government staged it so they could go to war with
Wow.
in Iran or Iraq. Yeah.
So like they framed it as they've done
framed
that.
it. Because
Wow.
they do a lot of staged events like that. It's not an event, but like stuff like that. And yeah, that's what I do.
You got to think, man. These governments and these higher up people and they have the power to be able to do anything.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
there's a few, man, in America.
It's like
Yeah.
And if you look at the stuff, well, if you go deep on the internet into it, there's some crazy stuff, man.
If you go deep on the
If you go
internet,
deep-
you'll find
basically
some
don't
dirt.
do any form of drugs and go on YouTube because
No.
you're just going to go down a rabbit hole
Yeah.
and you're going to end up like Jake.
Yeah.
Can you find out on Pornhub.com?
Shout out,
Do it.
shout out Pornhub.
Do you know what that is now? Yeah, you've been on that.
Yeah.
Before we
It
did
was casting couch that I had. I was unsure about. I've
Fake
never-
taxi,
never-
fake
yeah,
hostel,
fake
fake
taxi.
all these things.
Never heard of
Oh
it.
boy.
Yeah.
Fake hostel?
Yeah,
What
yeah,
happened to
yeah.
do?
Fake hostel.
I think it's fake hostel.
You just made it up.
No, nice one too.
Is it?
Yeah. Have a look tonight.
Full DVD in Blockbuster.
Yeah. Rental tonight. Be $6.99.
VCR.
And I'm off on Jordan VCR. VCR.
Are you just, well, super quick, are you a conspiracy guy?
I am and I aren't. I'm open to hearing them, but I won't like lose sleep over them and think they are 100% the ultimate fact.
Right.
But I will take them in and think, you've got a point there.
Yeah.
You know, I'm happy to do that all day long, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't let it take up. Like, you know, a lot of conspiracy theories are like 100% that.
Consumed.
It can't be the truth. Even if the truth is outlined and it's there in black and white, they're still on their conspiracy theories, like the round Earth situation. Like, that test lasted about 3 hours and then they realised the Earth is not flat, it is round. Whereas these people are like, oh, well, then the test's wrong, or something wasn't right. So, you know, there's certain things where sometimes you just got all the other and be like, yeah, okay, these facts speak for themselves.
Yeah.
But, oh, well, and you said you were kind of a...
I'm just a listener.
You're a
I
listener,
just
yeah,
enjoy listening to it.
I think they're cool to listen to, like...
Yeah. There's so if you're gonna jump into some, I'm gonna have a listen to this Boston Bond.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
that it's a total fix.
Yeah.
I can't say that.
Yeah.
But the evidence against it, it's interesting.
Yeah.
You look into it.
And then I've got one that's recently come across my path of Michael Jackson still alive. There's a bloke that he used to hang around with called Dave.
Two first
I
names.
know,
Two
two
first
first
names.
names,
Wow.
Dave. But if you just typed in Michael Jackson still alive, Dave, it'd probably come up. But it's really interesting.
There was one
The
like that
same
about Paul
McCartney,
voice, they've got the
wasn't
same
There's
stuff.
a few like that.
A few years ago.
There's a few
There's
like
a,
that.
there's a few, because obviously if you're a superstar... Did you know Michael Jackson had his own supermarket built? This is a real fact, by the way. This is not conspiracy theory, it's an actual video of it. And they had to have paid actors in this supermarket so he could go shopping and feel normal.
Was
Because
it?
he couldn't ever go shopping.
Yeah.
Because he's
So where
a
was
superstar.
this? In
He's a superstar. Oh yeah, in a bought it in America and had it built somewhere. And
so you weren't in that Never Ever Land.
I wonder if he
No.
fucking moonwalked down aisle.
I do anyway. So he must have done.
Yeah.
I would.
Straight to Heinz beans. I'm there. Moonwalking.
Yeah,
That's
brew it or stew it. Or well, you can't brew it or stew it, but Branston beans are better than Heinz.
I'm not on the fence at all. I'm happy.
Straight up.
As long as they're not Big Bob's bastard beans.
Superior beans.
Daddy's brown sauce.
What do they like chicken nuggets and chips on that? They have fucking beans. This guy, by the way, this guy eats like a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
He's got a vegetable in 5 minutes.
You can't beat shit tea though.
I love a shit tea. Yeah.
Potato waffles,
Yeah.
potato waffles, beans and chicken.
Potato smilers.
Turkey dinosaurs.
Turkey dinosaurs.
Or turkey twizzlers. It's
Brew
brought
it
back.
or stew it. Turkey dinosaurs.
Everyone's brewing turkey
Everyone's brewing
dinosaurs.
apart from Jamie Oliver.
You Jamie Oliver and you turkey dinosaur.
I miss turkey twizzlers so.
They're back out. They're in Tesco's.
Yeah, but they're not as naughty. They definitely have like real turkey in them. Whereas before it was like horseshoe and stuff.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
my
man.
dick.
Jake's hair.
Tennis ball turkey twizzlers.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll leave it there, man. Fucking awesome to have you both on.
Thank you very much. I would happily be like a little resident podcaster with you
Yeah,
guys
Jake,
down again if
are
you
you
want
feeling
to.
the vibe
I'm
now?
feeling it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
I
do
feel like-
this on a regular. then.
Yeah, I'm down. You know, you're gonna get me in every.
Not every Friday night though, 'cause my wife will fucking knock me out.
Yeah, every 2 or 3 weeks. If you know, want to
Rifle knock me out.
have a regular link up and just chat shit like
Not long
that.
now.
Yeah, man, I'm down for that.
Yeah.
My social media handles, if you want to come check me
No
out
one cares.
on Cashmere Coffee.
You know Martin, don't you?
Jake,
You know Martin.
Jake underscore good karma.
No, shout out Castroni and his coffee.
Thanks.
Yeah. Shout
You
out.
didn't sound natural at all then. Shout out Castroni and his coffee, yeah.
Too easy, man.
So, at Castroni Coffee Co UK on Instagram and at Castroni Coffee Co on Facebook. And you'll find us on there. Pop your orders in on Instagram DMs and I'll get them sent to you next day. And all that good stuff. So, thank you for having me, man.
No, thank you.
Sweet.
Big up.
And
Cheers, boy.
the Labor Barista, when people want to check out this latte out of yours that you are absolutely fucking killing the
Bad
game
boy.
with,
Fire.
where are they finding you, man?
Jake underscore good karma.
Jake underscore good karma. Go check them out. Give them a follow, like some of the shit, share it,
Yeah.
and do the same for us.
Yeah.
Like the Instagram page underscore
Subscribe
good
to
karma
YouTube,
coffee.
please.
Good karma coffee.
Yeah, so
Underscore.
I subscribe to your YouTube channel, so make sure you subscribe to these guys. You
Yes.
get the views on the YouTube up as well because
Yeah, because
obviously Spotify's great, but these man need them.
all for the
You
dollar.
know what I mean? These two been wearing the same pairs of shoes for the past 5 years. So they need a new pair of shoes and
Pair of shoes.
you know if you want to upgrade the little equipment and stuff.
Yeah.
They'll get that with help from you guys. So make sure you're on that vibe and
So
supporting them.
yeah,
And thank you for having me, man. I appreciate
coffee
it.
shop opinions.
Cheers, boys.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Peace out. Peace.